Okay, you guys, today on the Allie Colbert Show, we have Trace. Trace, incredible artist who I've known through Instagram for years now. And it's one of those online friendships that has finally... We met briefly at a show. Here's the thing with coming to a show.
Okay.
People think, this is not about you specifically, people think if they come to a show, they're going to hang out with you. You understand this as a musical artist.
I get it.
But it's like... Well, no, because I'm working. So I don't know when we're going to talk because I'm performing. But then it would be if you stay after, which would mean I go on and then I watch the whole show. Because it's unlike you, I'm not on, like, if it's at these showcase shows in Los Angeles, I'm not headlining every time and then getting off and, you know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, it's your fault. No.
It is.
But
That's why I'm here.
I'm happy to meet you.
Same.
I don't know so much about you personally. I know your music, and when we first, what was our first interaction? I think it was because I said I was so attracted to Sophia Bush.
Yeah, it was that.
And you messaged me saying, like, I'm gonna tell Sophia Bush this. Are you friends with Sophia Bush?
am,
Is that,
yeah.
and how are you friends with her? How did
It's
that?
just this group of people.
Lesbians?
No. Sorry, no.
I always feel like she's probably gay though.
She's married to a man.
I know, it doesn't rule it
But
out.
yeah, great
So
pal.
she's just in a what group?
It's just like a creative do-good, like change
I'm
the world
a
group.
creative
Do
do-good.
you want to be in?
I don't
Yeah,
know. Just like
I'll
what,
bring you around.
I don't know how I wouldn't make that. Or what? How old are you? Can I ask?
Yeah, I'm 36.
I just like to sort of place people on like how society values them. So
Yeah,
okay,
I'm losing value.
you're
as we
losing
speak.
value rapidly. I
But
just
look at
did this
me.
with Jade. No, you. I don't think you were 36. I would
Yeah.
think. I would think you're like 24.
Thank you so much. Slash rude.
Slash, that's really. You think that's rude when people say
a
women look
little
young?
bit.
Really?
Not look, but just like as long as I don't feel young.
You want to feel old.
I want to feel wise.
Well, you know,
You know what? I take it back. I'm
think
24.
Generally, when people are like, you look, when they say you look a decade younger than you are, they generally mean that as a compliment. Maybe that is some sort of fucked up societal thing that
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
ageist. You're right. It's ageist.
Yeah, I'm leaning
and if
into
this is
it.
how your whole fucking group is, I don't want to be a part of it.
It's not. They're great.
These like do good, like woke sort of policing how you speak. No. So
Sophia.
you messaged me about Sophia, who I think is stunning, and I think her voice is just, I don't know how you're around her not wanting to jump her bones. She's so sexy.
Boundaries, I think.
Boundaries. But that doesn't preclude want.
Sure.
And you actually had written to me saying, you know, I identified with an episode you shared about, can you remind me what it was about?
It was just about being gay and just like wanting to like buy dinner for someone, you know? And you're like, I just want to buy dinner. And I'm like
Like
total.
take care of a girl.
Yeah.
Yes, which I do find to be, you know, it's confusing because that's very appealing at the start of a relationship.
Correct.
You're like, I want to buy you dinner, I want to take care of you, all these things, and then you kind of get into a relationship and you're like, I have to actually pull back on this a little, otherwise I'll fully resent you for just always being the one giving.
Correct. Yeah.
So I've always found that to be an issue in relationship because the courting stage, that's like very attractive. And it is attractive throughout relationship, but I can't consistently show up as like full-time provider.
Correct.
Which is something I've struggled with.
I'm getting good at it.
You're getting good at the balance?
At not doing that anymore.
At not doing that.
In the ways I thought I needed to. But we'll get there.
Okay,
You know.
that's interesting because at the ways you thought you did. Because I do think for me, some of it, like initially it feels like an energetic match. And then it feels like it's coming from this codependent place of like, I want to make you feel okay so that I can be okay.
Yeah.
And like, this is what you expect, so let me be what you expect.
Absolutely.
So anyway, you liked a girl once upon a time.
It was that, and then you talked about, I think, meeting your boo.
My boo.
And how she never dated women before, right?
Yes, Julian had never dated a woman before me. That's correct.
And I think I felt very like, oh.
You identified with Julian.
I did.
Right.
Yes.
Because you wanted a woman to take you out?
No, I identified with both at
You
the same
identified with
time.
both.
And I was confused.
No, that's a real thing.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, this is interesting and also very normal.
Yeah.
And it felt less shocking to me.
Where'd you grow up?
Orange County.
Got it. And had you ever like recognized any of that in yourself before, or that felt like it was totally out of the blue?
Let me just say that, let me say a lot of things.
Yeah,
but
please.
I feel like I just have never liked anybody, like sincerely. And I think for me,
how is that possible?
I'm sure it was a wound of just like, I'm good. Like I have lived a full life. I feel great. I dated a lot, but barely. But I was just like living life, having friends, traveling, blah, blah, blah. I just felt for a long time, I'm not like untouchable in my soul, but kind of like, I'm like, you're sweet. Let's just hang for a bit. But I've never been a wreck or like immersed in anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really like, I still think today, I'm like, I think I loved myself, but I did not allow anyone to love me or know me. And so I think for me, I was always open to anything and everyone, ideally just like a hot person, you know, because that's, it's just in my blood. But I've been open. So I think when I told friends now recently, spoiler, but I have a partner now. When I told them I was dating a woman, everyone was like, you like someone? You know? So that it was that. Like I didn't grow up, I'm a Christian today. I say that with like, you know, stress about it. But I believe in God. I wasn't raised in that way. So I didn't have
You weren't raised Christian?
No, so I didn't have like
You found Christianity?
I did, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm learning that. And so it wasn't a, you know, I was nervous to be gay or anything. It was just more like I didn't feel anything for a long time.
But might that be because you were dating men?
Maybe. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't,
Because to an extent, and I obviously these things are nuanced, but to an extent, I felt that way when I dated men and when I had a boyfriend. I thought, yeah, I like these people, but I don't have a spark about them. There's no charge.
Yeah.
But that was because, but you know, there's also maybe like what you said, there's like a level of I want to protect myself. I'm not open to meeting people, but you're not pointing directly at men and saying, well, this was a sexuality thing. There's other stuff going on.
Correct. I feel like the emotional aspect. I've never really met an emotionally connected man.
But how about with friends?
Men-wise? Or friends-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like both.
Yeah.
You were able to, you felt that you were open to like meaningful friendship.
Yeah.
It was kind of when you labeled it as romantic that you had the wall up.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, and I really actually am super curious about how you find Christianity.
Sure.
But I don't know where to start. Should we start chronologically? Should we go there, or should we go into meeting this woman?
What feels more
crush?
hook-like for the audience? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, maybe we'll circle back to the Christian thing, but because I'm really fascinated by the way religion. I think religion just in general, like how it kind of wraps itself around these conversations with sexuality and like changes the lens we see things as.
Sure.
It's pretty wild.
It is.
You know? And also like I love spirituality. I'm going straight into the Christian thing.
Yeah.
But then religion confuses me sometimes. And you said to me in a message that you had met a girl and you were not maybe you can remind me, you weren't sure if she was interested or you weren't sure if you were interested. Maybe it was both ways.
It was just a intense feeling that I had for someone, and we met at a show, and I was just like, oh.
After you performed?
Before. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I like talented people. So I think, I look back and I think, so my mom's like a famous Vietnamese singer, and I feel like mom stuff. Like, I like a talented woman. Mm-hmm. And I was drawn to this person, they were drawn to me, and I was just like, cute. And I look back thinking like, wow, there was a pull of like, someone needed me in that moment. And I delivered, you know, with a speech of, you can do this, you got this, yeah. And
what do you mean by that? She needed you?
Yeah, we were all nervous playing.
Oh, was she was playing in the show as well?
This is probably like a lot of information now, but yeah, I'm like anonymous. But yeah, we were all playing.
Got it.
We were playing, and
So you get to save her in the moment.
I feel like I felt I was a comfort.
Comfort.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it still. Okay. So yeah, and I just felt intrigued, and I was like, this is interesting, and I was kind of not spiraling, but like more just stressed that like, oh, a musician, like that's silly. But yeah, that kind of just grew immensely, and the attraction was just more like me spiraling into an EP that I wrote, you know, because I was just like, these feelings feel stuck with someone who cannot hold them.
Did you try and pursue anything with this person?
We talked about it, and they just said that they were not in a place, and they were like not well. But also I felt enough to be like, yeah, they're like, just keep hanging. Let's just keep hanging. You know what I mean?
Of course I know what you mean, because probably would have been better for you to not keep hanging.
Correct.
But when you like someone, you fucking like someone, and like, you know, it's just, my therapist, who's brilliant,
Great.
not to brag,
No, I want to hear it.
but my therapist says, in general, human beings can learn things in a variety of ways. She's like, I can give you wisdom. She's like, you're probably not, she's German, so she'll say, you're probably not going to take it. You can watch someone do something. Maybe you'll learn something. But most generally, human beings learn through pain. She goes, you'll have to say, I'm too selfish, I'm too stubborn, I have to do it on my own. And she's right. I mean, it's the reason why in every single one of my breakups and makeups and all of these things, I've generally hung around too long. I have codependent tendencies. But also because, like, it's hard to be boundaried in that space. And I'm just dumping on you now.
No, I love it.
But I do understand that thing of, like, the person's not available, and you're like, but I still wanna. It's also, God, I'm really going off right now. Just hang with me because I'm hitting a lot of things. But, like, it's also a very, like, female way of thinking of, like, if a man sees that someone's not available for a relationship, he removes himself. It's the same study that if a man looks at a job application and he hits 60% of the skills, he applies, and if a woman looks at a job application, she's missing one skill, she doesn't apply. Men can say, this isn't working, I'm going to go. Women, we need to accrue tons and tons of evidence for why something can't work. And, like, that's so female.
Yeah.
So don't blame yourself, blame women.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, you hang around. Go on.
Yeah, I think it was just a window to get closer to who I am, and I just was excited, and it was almost like you know what I mean, you know, but you're just kind of like, I got some time, I don't have to do any work anytime soon, I'll just hang up by the pool. So I just I leaned into it
Totally.
and I love running with my imagination. I was bored, I was excited. I think to a degree I felt invincible because I never really experienced much heartbreak in that way. Like dads, sure, that, you know, I've experienced heartbreaks, but that type of romantic whatever feeling was new for me. So I leaned in, and it was very like swift. It was like a weird friend hang for like a couple of months, and a lot of flirts, a lot of words that felt heavier than they were. And it's with someone who thinks they thought they were secure, and they are definitely were avoidant, and it made me anxious.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I identify with you being like, I have time,
right?
Like, I can just ride this out, and also I don't want to, like, underwrite that heartbreak because there wasn't, like, an official relationship. I think people do that a lot.
Yeah.
Where it's like, even when you have, like, you know, this is everywhere, like, two friends will, like, the relationship will dissolve for whatever reason. There's, like, this just weird disintegration, and, like, that is also, like, a breakup, and like, you're mourning that, and you're grieving that. And I, like, formatively had so many of these relationships that, like, society would be like, those are, like, little nothings.
Yeah.
But, like, it is something, regardless of how it, like, manifested or could be labeled as. And so I really get that. And this EP, what's the name of the EP again?
The End of a Feeling. The
End of a Feeling is about this, or inspired by this.
Inspired.
Something I felt listening to the song, like the tracks, was that, like, I don't know if you felt this way, and maybe I should ask you about your reflections on it before I offer my own. But, like, there's this theme of, I feel like it's, like, feeling like you're too much, which, again, is, like, such a, like, I identify with that so intensely, and I sometimes wonder if that's an actual thing I feel about myself, people feel about themselves, or if it's really, like, this, like, circumstantial symptom of, like, yeah, of course I feel like I'm too much because I'm around someone who's not giving anything.
Yeah. Yes, I feel like I love art because I'm looking back, and I'm even though this was a new EP, I feel like a different person, and I'm able to kind of revisit it now. I think the too muchness is not too much in spite of that, but I wrote it saying that there's a song called Too Much, and there's a line that says, I'm finally hurt. And it's almost like I needed to feel too much to get to the place to go through it, hence, like, the name of the EP, of just, like, feeling it just to go through it and past it. So do I think I'm too much today? Yeah, but
what does that even mean?
But what does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's
too much for who?
Yeah, I think it's like, maybe I'm trying to rebrand it.
Like, too much emotionally?
Like, too much.
Your needs are too
enoughness. I don't know, like, I'm trying to make it positive. But in the beginning, it was like, yeah, I think it was like wanting too much from someone, like needing, like, an answer. I think I was talking to a friend earlier today of just, like, my anxiety used to stem in just not knowing the answers. Mm-hmm. And my parents would just be like, we're not going to see each other for a little bit. And I'm just like, tell me you're getting a divorce and you don't love each other and let's move on. Like, I don't need the gentleness. I don't need the kindness or the disrespect. I'm not telling me the truth.
Well, because it's not kindness.
It's not.
The intention is kindness.
Yeah, trying, to be kind is being actually rude. So that's a very dramatic example. But I do feel like that. I need to just know. Just tell me.
Yeah.
Can you do this? Can you know me? Can you love me? Can you make this record blow up like you said you did, but you didn't because you're a small label? Oops, I don't know.
Right.
Is this going live? Yeah, okay.
This is live.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I keep thinking about this quote in terms of when we talk about too muchness, mm-hmm. which is often felt in, romantic relationship, maybe mm-hmm. in platonic relationship as well. But the quote, I'm forgetting who it was. It's from this relationship psychologist, and he says, "The person who is least interested in something controls it." What that means to me, at least, is like if I'm in relationship with someone who's not interested in communicating with me, of course our communication sucks and I'm mm-hmm. too much, because you can't make someone care. It's hard to make someone care about something that they don't care about.
Yeah.
And you keep showing up as available and kind of wanting to create something and they're not interested in it. That's why if you're dating someone who doesn't like to fuck, or if you're dating someone who doesn't like to see their family, you go to their level. You can't, mm-hmm. whatever. I've clearly been in lots of therapy. So this girl.
Yeah. Well, the too muchness reminds me of like what you're saying too, of just like,
I'm being too much right now. I actually feel that way.
No, you're enough. You are enough. And too much, I think for me was like getting to this place where you're admitting someone's fault in reality, because I have a song called Bad Communicator and you said that, and it's literally like someone saying I'm a bad communicator and you're like, got it, and then you're still hanging out.
Oh, I know.
So that's
I love people on the dating apps. They say, just so you know, I'm really bad at my phone.
Oh my god, like
really?
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
Goodbye. But
that's bullshit.
Do you want to hang out? Yeah, it's like, yeah,
that's a made up story you've told yourself and are now telling other people to let you off the hook for not showing up.
Truly.
Like, yeah, that's a fucking no.
Yeah, ignore for sure.
That's a nor, man. That's a fucking nor.
Ignore.
So this girl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, it's basically just it turned into a, never saw her again, trying to hang out.
Never saw her again.
Oh yeah, just trying to hang out, missing each other, and then me started to hear some shit about me.
No, shut up.
Yeah, through like a gay bubble, and I'm just like,
what? Why am I you in another group I'm not in?
I know, I'm sorry, but today everything changes.
The artists who do good and the gay bubble, like I could apply for both.
Today it changes. You just have to go to the east side.
God damn it.
Okay, so I basically like heard some shit, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like
I don't like hearing
mommy's
shit.
Tired, and I'm just like, oh, it was just like not surprising and like annoying and stuff, and I finally let it go. When I heard that, I was like, I'm too tired. I'm not gonna even try. But then I just tried to hang out and just chat and text and be like, hey, I just wanted to clear some stuff up. And let me tell you, I followed through. Like, I literally, a voice note has never been heard. And that's it.
She never even played the voice note.
My therapist said there's no way she would. And I said, you're right. So it's funny because I'm letting go of just like, not even being like, what was wrong? It was just more like, wow, buddy, like you were not well, but you got me to write a really gorgeous EP that's, charting. No, it's not. And, I just like, it's just a very like anticlimactic story. It's just more like this like investment in my brain, and then we just never talked again, and we're still Instagram friends. And if I saw her today, I'd be like, hey, like,
why still follow on Instagram?
I don't know. That's another episode, I think.
You think?
I think there's pride. I think there's like, why would I? I don't want that to show.
You still don't want her to think you're mad?
Yeah, or maybe I just want her to see a story of my hot girlfriend now. Like, who's to say?
Hey, okay, perfect segue.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Tell me about then finding love.
So
you're hurt and you're writing this EP about this other girl.
Yeah, it's true, and I write it and it's great and
phenomenal.
I'm just, thank you, and I'm just hanging out and I'm open now. I feel like very open to just like knowing that I have a heart.
You've been blown open.
Yeah. And I've just been like, let's try, Trace.
Yeah.
You know, love sounds fun. And so I dated some guys because they're so easy. They're so sweet.
They're very easy.
And they're just like,
and they're available.
They
To
are.
date. Not always
to date.
emotionally.
No, yeah, just like
Ubers. Like, I could date.
They're
I could
just
date.
here and they're sweet. And I've actually been grateful to have met some good ones, like sweet ones, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, and
Not all men.
Yeah, not all men. But, you know,
Not all women, yeah.
I was hanging out and I met my current partner now like 10 months ago, and it was on Hinge. I gave her a rose. On Hinge, you know, you get one rose to give to like 10 hot people. They give you a choice of, like they literally know your taste, and I had every like gender on there, so I was like, it was between her and this guy. And
they save the hot people for the roses.
They're smart.
Is there some hot algorithm that they're saying these are the 16
I think it's the people that are
people.
most. I think it's the people that are most swiped on and given roses.
Do you ever wonder if you make it into that field?
I don't, because I don't want to know.
I know.
And it's almost like I already know about my girlfriend. Like, she's that person. She doesn't swipe. She doesn't do anything.
Damn.
She's that person.
She's so hot she don't swipe.
Like, truly, it was
She gets
between
swiped on.
her, like, stomach tattoo and, like, just like it was like a very intimidating photo.
Wow.
And younger, which is, like, also stressful for me for some reason.
How young is young?
Younger. So, like, she was 26.
15.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like 14, and so 26. And it was her and this other guy who was like a cutie basic. I don't even remember what he looked like.
A cutie basic.
But I was just like, okay, I got one rose. I'm not paying $2 for an extra rose.
Totally.
So I just kind of like...
Is that how it works?
I gave
they
it to
give
God.
you one for free?
They do.
And then you can buy more
you can. That's why they're
to
smart,
access the hot people?
Because Hinge and all the apps are controlling our
They've
love life.
weaponized it.
They
yeah.
know. They know what you like. So I was like, you know what? This looks like I'm scared of this hot person. I'm like, this is not even... Here you go. And I gave it to her, and she...
Did you say something?
Oh,
like
I
that?
did.
What'd you say?
I said one of her prompts was like, I forget the other part, but she said she likes loud music, and then I just said how loud, because my ears are really sensitive.
That's cute.
It was cute.
I like that.
Cute enough. And basically just we talked and chatted and, you know, had our first date like in 2 days. It was like a lunch date. She later tells me that she didn't think I was going to be attractive because my pictures suck. And that blew my mind.
She said that, sorry, over text?
No.
In person?
Like later. Like,
I don't know if I like that.
you know what? Knowing her and knowing me, I'm like, I get it. I am much cuter in person.
But that's not nice.
She just didn't, she said it in a very like, I just didn't know if we would connect physically, but I like loved what you were saying, and I was like ready to like have a lunch date with you.
Got it.
And she made up for it by inviting me over literally 4 hours later to meet her lizard, which is an actual
Meet
lizard.
her lizard. Welcome to being a lesbian in Silver Lake.
Truly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you hit it off with this girl.
Yeah.
And then is it a U-Haul move? I mean, this is your first, is it your first date
It's
with a woman? And then your first
not my
girlfriend?
first date, but my first current like real relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are other dates with women before this.
Yeah.
And how do they go? How do they pan out?
Sweetly, I think I feel like yeah, I had a good experience. I feel like I've heard a lot of people's first experiences with women sound horrifying in the sense of like
Really?
them denying them their sexuality, being like, I don't think you're gay, or like I don't like. I've just heard some really shitty stories, and so my experience
Based on how they show up on the date, that they don't think they're gay?
or based on just sex and relationships and how they it's just horrible stuff.
Well, hang on. Yeah, there's a learning curve.
Absolutely.
So is this your girlfriend is the first woman you're then with?
This isn't the first like relationship.
No, but like doing it.
No, but I say yes because I don't know. I felt, and she obviously knows this, but like I say she's like my first everything,
Right.
because she really is. I think I've never really felt present until I met her.
Got it. So the other,
You know what I mean?
yes, I do know what you mean, and I've kind of felt. Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, thank you.
I think I get that. I
Yeah.
think I do get that, because I think when you're not totally sure like how you are relating to your sexuality, some experiences are easier to kind of like mentally or emotionally place as like, this was curious, but
Yeah.
I wasn't really like totally connected in
Yeah.
it, and like I don't know how I felt about it, and
Yeah.
like that's kind of just a part of like processing sexuality,
Yeah.
which is like, it's my favorite thing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love how like alive it is, in the sense that like, at least I felt growing up, I needed to like land on what I was or who I was and what I like. And now I'm in a place where I can embrace the mystery and the intrigue around it of like, who knew that person would turn me on, or how delighted am I when I get to be like this in my relationship. And the open-endedness of that is fun.
Absolutely.
So, and has your current partner, have they been in a relationship with a woman?
They're just,
they're the best.
I'm doing the rock sign. They're just, since like day one, they've been just like a cool gay person.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you feel super like aligned now in yourself, or is it one of those stories where like you're like, now I have the lights on, or you're like, I just am happy?
It just, it feels aligned. It feels like, our experiences are polar opposites, and we both feel like we are doing this for the first time in a lot of ways. Yeah. Which is beautiful, and I think, which is what love is, I think. I
do think that. Yeah. That a bit of love is like, it's that quote from Portrait of a Lady on Fire, do all lovers feel like they're inventing something? Oh my God.
Hello.
But it's true. Yeah. It's like I get to see the world with you for the first time. It's almost like having a child because you have a sense of wonder that's been reinvigorated. Yeah. I'm on fire today. Yeah. I'm going to call this just Allie Cobert's too much, this episode. Does she maybe inspire another EP now?
Yeah, I feel like she's inspired a lot of other things in terms of writing. I feel like she's such a great writer, and her work isn't art, but she's an artist, and she just pulls out some good stuff in me. And very gay, but in the beginning we wrote each other poems back and forth, and I was just like, this is fun. Yeah. So I haven't written an album about her yet, but I know I will. Yeah. Because I know the happy stuff is going to be just as good, or if not better. Yeah.
And wait till you break up. No, I'm sorry.
She's gonna hate that.
I'm so sorry. I just, I'm a comedian, so I'm just trafficking in pain.
No, absolutely.
So let's go back to the fact that you found Christianity. Mm-hmm. What does Christianity do for you?
I like feeling very small.
Is that true?
Yeah, not even like, meaning like, I used to make a joke about like being petite and dating men.
I think I know what you meant, but I laughed.
But yeah, you should laugh. It's funny.
I like feeling helpless.
Yeah, the synonym for small for me would expand to, I like feeling like there is something bigger, and there's bigger wonder, like you were saying. Like I just love knowing that it's not up to me. I think that for me, what I mean by that is like,
say what you mean by that.
I think I look at my life, and there's something that carried me through some stuff that I do not know what. It's not like I was just a sharp, positive gal. I just had something guide me with, I think, comfort when things didn't make sense, or took me out from a scary situation when I should have been, maybe harmed. Like I just feel protected. I'm not saying that is, and I'm gonna go off on like, like where was God when this happened, but for me, I grew up very multi-religious. So like my mom's parents were Muslim, and my dad's were Buddhist and Catholic, and so there was always a God just hanging out somewhere, but I never was forced to like be like, you gotta love this guy. Mm-hmm. And so I think for me, like Christianity, like religion is tough, because I'm just like, I don't believe in all the verbatims and the translations from,
is that why
like,
you keep
men.
like swallowing Christianity when you say
do
it?
Because I'm trying to rebrand it, because when you hear Christianity, you think of people with signs of like,
of course,
hate gay people and like non-white people, and that's American Christianity.
It's gonna be a big rebrand for just you, if it's just up to you.
Sure, you're right. So I'm letting that go as we speak. So I just love, I have, my higher power would be God. Mm-hmm. I pray, and when I read the life of Jesus, even if it wasn't real, who's to say? I liked what he did, and I liked the way he walked about. And I
totally think he existed. Yeah, I think people are clear on that. Yeah,
I think I just love the way. It's just harder to love and live the way that I think like Jesus did, and I think that for me, I like when I met my partner now, I'm like, oh, like I used to believe in God, but I really believe in God now. Like this is insane. Like
the love.
Yeah, like I just think like people are like, a lot of my past, I think, groups of friends who are more conservative that I don't really have anything similar to anymore these days. Like they're great people, and
more religiously
yeah. Like they would ask questions like, how does it feel? Like how's your relationship to God? Like these are the questions that pop up to like people. Yeah. And I'm just like, I feel the closest ever to God. like I feel being queer is like the most, it feels so God to me, and I'm like, that's interesting. I'm confused.
Oh, because what do you mean when you say God, though? When you say this feels like I'm so close to God, what is being authentic, being in alignment, being close to destiny,
love, I guess. Yeah.
So it's your version of whatever.
Sure, we all have our gods too, for sure.
Right.
I like going to a church and singing songs, and no one's perfect, and I'm me, and I just have this. I have a foundation that all I know is that I just had an experience when I was younger, and it felt like a spiritual experience too, where I just feel different now.
Yeah.
Something overcame me. I don't know.
What can we hear about that?
Well, it was just more like this wave of warmth, and like I had some prayer over me, and I just
In
was
like a church?
in like a group, like a little hang, and I was just being prayed over, and I just felt something shift in me to where I still have anxiety, I still have my stuff, but I definitely feel covered.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be that I either have
it's
a
like
very
a celestial
strong
insurance policy.
Yeah, sure. Like that's my route. Just looks very more unmarketable, but yeah, I just like love God and I pray.
Is the church you go to like? Is it gay affirming? Like, do you feel like that? Where does that stick for you?
Yeah, I think that there's a very small bubble that I know of that I've introduced my girlfriend to, because she didn't grow up anything, so she's like, this Jesus talk is cool, and I'm like, oh my God, how refreshing. And so I kind of have friends, and I come from a background of people who went to like private schools and like grew up in the church, and like some people even played for like the big mega churches who are not a part of it now, and they're just like, ooh, and I'm like, totally, that sucks. But we're all, here we are. So I know these narratives that people grew up in, and I've been to different churches, small, big, mega, like, horrible, and I've been to some bad ones, and I took a break. COVID was a really like, weird blessing in that we all didn't get to go outside, and I kind of took a minute to think about what is it that I believed in. I think politics and stuff brought a lot of stuff in people that I was just like, this is weird. So I took a pause, and then I found a church that I've been invited to like years ago, and I went, and I was just like, this feels insanely different than anything I've ever experienced.
That's amazing.
Because it felt just like
safe.
I think what God should feel like. Yeah.
Have you played music at the church?
I haven't.
I feel like, is that the next step?
No, I get nervous. I think that I'm pretty emotional in the sense of like I just cry at everything, and I just couldn't imagine leading someone to sing with me and then I just cry. I just wouldn't be professional.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I just feel like, how could you not combine a place where you feel so connected, and your passion?
And I wanted to write
your next album
stuff.
is going to be like Christian rock.
Maybe. How funny.
I had no idea this was like a part of your personality.
Really?
Do you share this on social?
Well, yeah, I'm not like,
the Jesus freak.
Putting like worship songs up on my story. I got to remain relatable.
I guess.
But I've talked about like
God.
This. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a video the other day in my Instagram feed about a woman. It's just like this stuff gets so like misused.
Sure.
Like everything else.
Yeah.
But I saw this video of this woman like preaching about why she submits to her husband. And she's like, I submit to my husband because my husband is in conversation with God. I'm not submitting to my partner. I'm submitting to his messenger.
Yeah.
And it's like that just like scares the fuck out of me.
It scares me too.
I know.
It scares me too, and I think the closer I
so defend it. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, I think that's scary, and I think that everything is fear-based. And when I hear
everything's fear-based.
Truly, like when you hear like, I used to get offended when someone said they were like a Christian and they were like the way they were, and I'm just like, that is not my business. Like, yikes. And that's also like a codependency too.
Like if they're
just like if that was my friend, and I'd be like, oh, like I'm not sure what they,
How do you do the math on that?
Like I feel sad and bad for that. And I think that I have compassion because I understand it in my family and in some of my friendships of past. Like everyone's just scared and they can't really name things, and I don't really need to. And I think even just being blatantly queer has been a ball for me because I'm just like, I'm not fazed by my beliefs. I don't know, sin and all that shit. I'm just like, I don't really some people like grew up with like, you're gonna burn in hell.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I'm just like, I don't know that God.
So then you really had an opportunity to kind of like, build a bear with God.
You know what? Absolutely.
Like,
build a bear.
I'm going to put in a cute little heart in this guy, and I'll take what I want, and like I can leave this church and not be, you weren't indoctrinated in one church that had a rigor around it, which can be very fucking scary.
And it's also just like, if I can talk you into it, then I can talk you out of it, and I never was talked into it. So it's like, that feels nice.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally, the fear, everyone's afraid is basically the theme of life.
Yeah.
It's really the one thing that comforts me when I think about just this huge alienating gap in terms of like where people fall politically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about how I feel about, I am pro-choice, choose everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of the social liberties, whatever. And ban assault rifles, all the normal virtue signaling bullshit you'd see on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think about the people in my life who I love, relatives, close friends, whatever, who don't feel that way.
Correct.
And immediately I get worked up about it. Surface level. I'm upset. I'm enraged. How could they? Fuck them. I hate them. These are just reactions. It's not how I actually feel. And then when I look under that, I think that they, like me, are deeply afraid. In the same way that I'm afraid of more mass shootings, these people are afraid that they won't have protection. I'm afraid that infants are dying. I'm afraid, like, it's just fear. Whether or not I can co-sign it, I don't agree at all.
Yeah.
But the fact that everyone's afraid could be the name of your next album.
I think so.
Everyone's afraid and I'm in love.
Yeah, exactly.
But when are you performing live next?
It's a tough question.
No.
Yeah.
You're not sure? You're not on tour at all?
No. That's just like, I'm sad. I'm grieving like a career.
Why?
It's too hard. It's just insanely.
You're choosing out of that.
Right now in this moment.
Okay.
The gap between, me and Dua Lipa is too wide. And I have dreams, and I think they're going to be used and look in ways that I cannot anticipate. But in this season of my life, it feels sick to like be like, you know what, this is good stuff, baby. And if it lands somewhere that's like an Apple commercial that can fund my next album, like that'd be cool. But until then, it is quite impossible and costly to go on a tour at like my level, and even those beyond me are having a hard time touring and stuff. But all I want to do is sing and perform and tour. But
does that just come back to, because I am on the road some as a stand-up, moving tickets?
Maybe.
And is that just how it is? And it's, if you post enough TikToks and go viral enough, you'll do that and you'll be Dua Lipa?
Yeah. I mean, that's like a route, right, to try. And I think I've given the old TikTok a try, and I don't mind. I don't mind selling myself as you have to. You have to like send people your actual link to your EP so they can listen to it. And I'm like, for sure. Like, I don't even know what's out there right now to listen to. But I feel a bit tired and really at peace at like, where I'm at now for this year.
Yeah, I get that.
So I don't know. I don't know, dude.
But maybe a show to celebrate the EP is all I'm thinking.
Yeah, I love that
Bring
idea.
it back to the old troubadour.
Kind
of round it out. Homecoming. That's my only thought.
You're not wrong.
Or like a so far living room moment.
Yeah. I'm not. Yes.
I don't know why I'm.
No, I love it. I love it so much, and I think that's how it grows, when people see you and experience you and they realize how talented you are and how funny you are, and then they become fans. And so it's tough.
It is. I see. It's a hard mountain to scale.
Yeah. And everyone has their own successes, or definitions around like what does successful mean. And I think I feel successful in the sense of like doing music as my living for like 8 years, but now I'm like, I'd like to buy a house, so I need to pivot. And I have a partner now, so I want to like be like a more, I don't know, just better.
You want to be like, do you want to start a family?
Probably, yeah.
You want to have kids?
Not like now.
But you want to have kids. I'm obsessed. I ask all my guests this. This isn't specific.
I'm
to
open.
You're open?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's just me not saying anything concrete for you.
Oh, you're not sure?
I like the idea.
Like, do you see yourself as a mom one day?
Yeah, I didn't really care before I met my partner.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was just kind of like, sure, maybe like I'm down, like whatever. But now I'm like, I liked who I was as a kid with my mom, and I like the idea of like a best pal.
Yeah.
So like, I have like a thought on that of just like, that'd be nice, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's for my own research.
You want kids?
No.
Okay.
But I'm just always inquiring about people's journeys because
Yeah.
around children, I'm fascinated about like when it kicks in, desire, if it hasn't kicked in.
Yeah, I think I'm just really open. I think there's a lot of opinions about how irresponsible it might be to have kids or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, do you? And if it feels like you, then great. I've never been against it. So now I'm more just for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trace, everybody. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
coming on the
having
show.
me.
Tell everyone where they can find you. And
You can find me on Instagram at just my name, Trace, and on Spotify as TRACE, Trace.
thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you for having me.